You are now listening to Vigilantes Radio, presented by the Only One Media Group. This is the people's choice for quality interviews, celebrities and special guests. Hosted by Demetrius Dini Reynolds. Call in to join the mix at 701-801-9813. For the complete archive of episodes, visit onlyonemediagroup.com and be sure to like us on Facebook at Vigilantes Radio. We welcome all. Enjoy the show. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host, Demetrius Houdini Black Reynolds. Enjoy the show.
Yo, what is going on? And welcome to another awesome episode of Vigilantes Radio. I am your host, dini-mussolini, and we have a very special guest for today's episode. So you guys definitely want to stick around for that. So yeah, last night's show was pretty strange, right? So mid interview, I guess my guest his phone died or whatever. He lost connection to the show. So I tried to wait on him. I was like, I'll give him 10 minutes. So 10 minutes turned into 20 minutes. 20 minutes turned into 30 minutes. So I was forced to do like this monologue, and yeah, I told a very interesting story. I'm on this dating app, right? So, swipe right, swipe left. And so I talked about a particular adventure. Yeah. I mean, I know on these sites you can't really search for anybody. So if you try to go search for my profile, you probably won't find it. But I am pretty much on there. Not all the time. Just for kicks sometimes. Sometimes for love, but that's another story. Anyway, so yeah, last night's show, I can't wait till it comes out. My editor, well, actually that's me. My, I guess my person for moral support, because I pretty much do everything on Vigilantes Radio. But anywho, they were like, well, why don't you do those type of shows regularly? Because that was kind of funny. And I was like, well, I'm no comedian. I'm just a random black guy, You know how you have in a group of people, and there's just that, that black guy in the group? That's always me, the random one. Okay, so, yeah, can't wait till that episode come out. It was not fun for me. It was very nerve-wracking because I'm like a professional introvert. I don't really do the whole speech thing. It's like, oh, why are you doing radio? It's to overcome introvert, being an introvert all my life, being a professional wallflower. So we are here 5 years later. I still haven't quite figured it out, but yeah. So yeah, we have a very special guest. Right now, there are over 30,000 of you guys right now in our chat room. Google Hangouts, Skype, the browser, on the phone lines. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I suppose you didn't come for me. You had to come for my special guest, of course. My feelings not hurt, so don't worry about that. Just stay where you are. Hold on to your beer or your tea or your coffee, whatever you're drinking. If you're in the USA, it's about that time to pour up. If you're elsewhere in the world, it's probably nighttime and you're still probably pouring up. And if you're somewhere else where it's morning, you're still pouring up. Yeah, something. Coffee, Kahlua, both. So either or. Don't get trapped by dualistic thinking. Just because A is true does not make B false. Often A and B can both be true. The things you must do can also be the things you want to do. What you give can also be what you receive. What you teach can also be what you learn. Your task can be difficult and at the same time enjoyable. What is good for the customer can also be good for the vendor. Many times we make the mistakes of defining things by what they are not. In doing so, we limit our thinking and our possibilities. In reality, there are very few opposites. Is teaching really the opposite of learning? Is female really the opposite of male? Is love really the opposite of hate? Is play really the opposite of work? Yes, it is. Do not debate with me on that one. But, of course not. Many of the things we consider opposites are in fact very similar. Our desire to classify and categorize, while often quite useful, can be limiting. Possibilities arise not from the destruction of other possibilities, but rather from the opening of the mind. Take that from me, Dini-Mussolini. That is my word, and word is bond.
You're live in the mix. Let's get this started.
Yo, hello, and welcome to another awesome episode of Inside the Music, or the book, or film, or even the business, where we dive into the minds of the people who create these marvelous things. It feels so good to be back with you guys once again. Big ups to my folks who are indigos, crystalline, or the starseeds, for my vigilantes audience family, for my hooligans, and shout out to my people who are vegetarian or vegans. If you're in the struggle like me, we are averaging over 37,000 live listeners, and we've been at this for 5 solid years. I appreciate to all you guys who've been rocking with the kid on this journey, and we are still evolving, baby. It is all because of you, most definitely. We are the people who have dedicated their lives to music, spirituality, business, literature, art, films, and research in every aspect. And we want to allow you an opportunity to tell your story. Man, we've had celebrities on our show, from Grammy Award-winning artists, nominees, to actors, comedians, CEOs, technology revolutionaries, visual artists, from authors to professors, and vampires. Or people who think they're vampires. It doesn't matter who you are or where you come from. Come on our show and talk to me. So check it out to book your interview or to appear on my other show called Skeptics. Email me at vradio@onlyonemediagroup.com, and that's V as in Victor. We hope to get the stories behind these unique people and give them a chance to tell their truth to us and the universe. That is Vigilantes Radio sole purpose. You know the number to dial, 701-801-9813. Share that number with your buddy right now and tell them to tune in to connect with us or our guests, or you can hop in the mix directly from our website, which is onlyonemediagroup.com. Right from the homepage, you can slap that go live button and you'll be here live in the mix and in the chat room with all of us. So feel free to shoot over some questions to ask our guests while they are here, but only as time permits. Sometimes my guests and I talk entirely too much. And as always, all episodes are available for free download, and you can grab them from either Spreaker.com/onlyonemediagroup, iTunes, Player.fm, YouTube, any app from the Google Play or iTunes Store, or over at our website. And that goes for every single episode that we've ever aired.
Well, it is a new year. Yes, 2019. In the back of my mind, though, I'm still wondering what happened to 2018. Like, it just whizzed by. And, you wake up and you're like, well, hey, where did the year go? Where did the time go? And that's pretty much my life right now. We're like 6 days into the New Year's, and I have yet to do anything that I didn't do in 2018, which is sad. I know a lot of you guys jump start at 12 a.m. on January the 1st, and me, I was like, yeah, I'll wait another month. But no, really, guys, I'm not that guy. I'm really very potent and attentive and all the things that keeps me busy. So lately I've been traveling a lot. Next week I'll be in Dallas. So if you're out in Dallas, I would love to meet you and greet you. I'll be there Thursday. Yeah. I'll be invading your space for an entire week. So if you just happen to run up on me, say hi. I'll say hi back. I won't bite. Well, I won't bite for sake of not getting in trouble. So, yeah. Anyway, today's interview is the Kemone S-G Brown interview. And again, I'm your host, Dini-Mussolini, just in case you guys forgot my name that quick. So our radio interviews go beyond the music. We go beyond the books, the movies, the businesses, and into the minds of artists or people who create these marvelous aspirations. From researching our special invited guests, mining for details, watching, reading, listening to everything we can, I begin to become a stalker of some sort, So I guess we're like TMZ, digging out all the secrets. Our interviews are designed to bring out the best answers possible through provoking questions that have some real substance. Well, maybe we aren't like TMZ, but it was worth a shot. Maybe they'll give me a call. Maybe. But a sincere, warm welcome to Kemone for being on our show today. We'll have an absolutely amazing time talking about her latest book release. Oh yeah, the latest one. I kind of got this one messed up, but I made it right, guys. I made it right. Anyway, the name of her latest book is Too Normal, Child Abuse in Jamaica. And you guys know I hold Jamaica dear to my heart. I'm not from there, but Jamaican blood runs in my blood, so that makes me a Jamaican with a pinch of Cherokee Indian. It's like, wow, Dean, you're a mutt. Pretty much. But I get the best of all the worlds, all the cultures, right? So that's what we'll be discussing. Of course, we'll also discuss her life's journey, and maybe even the importance of an online presence for authors. Point being, I'm sure she has a lot of incredible things to say here, and I don't want to give it away. If I just go down the list of things we'll talk about, you're like, oh, I figured the interview out. So I'll stop right there and welcome her to the show. Hey, Kemone, you're now live in the mix with all of us. How's it going?
Hello, Denny. I'm good. How are you?
I am doing great. It's a new year. How are you feeling?
I'm excited. A bit worn out already, but I'll revamp over the next few days and chase 2019, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, at least one of us is excited. I'm still trying to gain back the last 30 to 60 days I lost.
I'm sure you are excited. Going out to Dallas will help, won't it?
Yeah. Scared at the same time.
Good.
I'm just not ready for 2019 just yet. There's still things left unsaid and undone in 2018. I gotta go do this.
Okay. Well, maybe do this. Use January to just wrap up all that you needed to do in 2018 and then jumpstart 2019 on the 1st of Feb. How does that sound?
Sounds like a plan. I think I'm going to go with that. Option B. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think I need to have you around a lot. I think you can help me with a lot of important decisions,
And you can help me too. Don't downplay it. You've got a lot of game in all of this.
What? No.
Yeah, you do. I wouldn't be calling you otherwise, innit? I wouldn't be on your show if you weren't like the game, if you weren't like the thing.
No, don't listen to her, guys. It's all about Kemone. It's all about it.
That's why there's like 34,000 plus listening, isn't there?
They're here for you. I sent out the email last night and
for you.
Yeah, no, they showed up for you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I kind of like went down your list of things that you do. Like you're kicking tail out there. You're a researcher, an activist, public speaker, author, and you're probably Superwoman at night or something. Living that double life. I mean, you have to be. Look at all those incredible things you're doing. You're out there changing the world. And I'm just
I try. Yeah. Not achieving as much as I wanted, but I mean, got to be grateful for the little bit, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. So, what are you expecting in 2019 as far as goals go?
Wow. I've got such a long list, Denny. Like, I don't know if you know this thing called Trello that I use to do my organizing. So I've got all my goals on it and stuff like that. But I've created goals list for my goals list, if that makes any sense. So it's like it's like wanting so much in so little time, but I'm sure I'm going to make it happen. I think if I should pick one thing, would be that I want to write more, and I want to have more conversations about more serious things that are happening in Jamaica, and hopefully create a bit more change. Mm-hmm. So that would be one of my biggest goals for 2019, to have more conversations. Yeah. So
you're shedding a light on a lot of the things I didn't know that goes on in Jamaica.
Is it? I guess we're good at saying Jamaica no problem, and the world believes it. And I love my country, because one of the things with writing about all the bad things that's happening there, it's like people think, are you bashing your country? Why are you bringing out all these horrible things? But at the end of the day, we've got issues that a lot of people don't know about, and that we ourselves as Jamaicans, we turn a blind eye to, or we just accept it as, because it's been going on for so long, we just accept it as the norm. So I think growing up and knowing that might be the norm for a lot of us, but it's not the right way to do things. So let's try and change it and make our society a bit better, and make it really, the land of food and water, and without issues. I mean, no society will ever be perfect. I mean, perfection is not possible, because, I mean, if there was perfection, then the world wouldn't be the world. So, yeah, it's just that we want it to be better, to be much, much better.
Yeah. Are you considered a whistleblower?
In some ways I am, yeah, but yeah, I think I am. I don't think it's a term that I'm not always liked, I think, for the things that I have to say, and I've been doing this for years. I've been doing this for since I was 14 years old. I mean, I started against the school system, so it's been a long time. It's been a long time, and a lot of people aren't really I mean, as a child, I was told a lot to shut up, you talk too much, you want to create too much change and whatever, but you've got to have your say. I mean, we've only got one life, and you've got to create the experience that you want to have, and try to make the experience for a lot of other people better, I think. Yeah.
I mean, shedding the light and excuse me, and being a whistleblower, does that create a risk for your life? I mean, is it dangerous?
You know what? This question does come up, and I always say to people, I remember years ago, I think it was back in 2008, when I spoke in Copenhagen in front of thousands of people, and it was one thing I said that I'll never stop saying. Being in Jamaica, it's a risk daily for anybody living there. So whether or not I'm a whistleblower, it's still going to be a risk for my life if I'm there. I'm not living there now, but when I go there, I do know that, just by being there, the chances of something bad happening, it's 50-50, you know what I mean? So am I going to just shut up about it and still get shut down? Or am I going to talk about what the issues that I want to see change and maybe get shut down? You know what I mean? So it's there's no difference, really. There is no difference. The kids go to the shop and get shot. They're caught in crossfire and stuff like that. So old women are shot in their houses. So it makes no difference, really. Somebody might come for you in the night because you talk too much. Maybe that's what they'll say about me. I don't know. But, but the chances of it happening is 50-50 either way. So why not just do what I think I was put here to do?
Yeah, you definitely drive a good point with that. Definitely. So let's start there. All right, let's get a little history. Your life journey, your life story, where did it all start, and what's led you to this point now in your career?
Oh wow, Dini, my life story will take not enough books in the world, but I'm not very old, but there's stories behind stories.
I have my tea and I have my popcorn. You're good. I like stories.
Yeah. So what led me to this point? I started out as an activist. I didn't even know that there was such a term as an activist when I was 14. And for me, it was against the school system. As I said, I was a young girl dating girls, being in a relationship, and the school system had an issue with it. So that kind of sparked things for me where I had to like challenge the school system in the sense of, why is it such a big issue? I mean, why do you have a problem with it, and why does it make me less smart if I'm not heterosexual? Like, what is the big issue? And, you know, as kids, when kids date or when kids find themselves in relationships that they're not supposed to be in, I mean, you talk with other kids about it, isn't it? And adults don't know about it. So when I was telling my girlfriends and my guy friends that I'm dating this girl and whatever, it wasn't a big issue. It was just things that we were all dating, boys, girls, whatever. We're all dating. And it was a big thing for us because our parents couldn't know, the adults couldn't know about it. But the moment they knew that I was like interested in girls, it became a big issue. And religion was brought into it. A lot of issues came up out of it. So it was a matter of, why is it such a big issue? Like, why? Why do we need to create this big problem about something that is so natural to me? Yeah, why are you creating chaos? And I remember when I was like 15, 16, when I was 15, I think, there was a big hoo-ha at school, like a huge hoo-ha, where my principal got involved, parents got involved in everything because girls shouldn't date girls and all of that, and all of that stuff. And their disciplining was getting me and my girlfriend at the time off the list of possibly becoming prefects, becoming head girls or whatever, getting us wiped off that completely. And I took it upon myself to go to the Ministry of Education and say, this isn't fair, why should it be like this? I mean, it should be based on your grades and your behavior and everything else. Why is it just such a big issue that our sexuality is going to be, called into question? Girls that are on the list are dating boys. I don't see you taking them off the list. Like, what is the big deal? So that was where it started for me when I realized that. And I'm sure if you ask my parents, they'll probably say I was always like that. But whenever I think that something isn't right, then I want to understand why it's not right. And, why do you think that it's okay to do the things that you do and oppress people the way that you oppress them, per se? I was one of those kids who, when Sarafina came on TV, I was fuming as a child, like 6, 7, 8 years old. I was fuming because I wanted to know why black people were being oppressed the way they were being oppressed and all that stuff. So it started for me at a very young age. And as I went on with my life, it became different issues. It became a thing where I wasn't so much concerned about, how I was affected by any system, but I was more concerned about how systems were oppressing people in general and how people were experiencing life and the inequalities that they faced and discrimination and those kind of things. So I went into HIV and AIDS work, I went into human rights work, and I think it was in 2007, 2008 that I left Jamaica altogether, and I lived in South Africa for quite a few years. I still, kept up my work of human rights work and went into student activism, joined SASCO, which is under the ANC, and I've pretty much kept up with, rights and trying to achieve equality amongst people and all of that. So a few years ago, I studied mathematics in school and I went on to get a master's in mathematics. And when I studied mathematics, it was because I wanted to find scientific solutions to social problems. I wanted to, I don't know if you know much about it, but the whole thing of mathematical modeling and coming up with optimal solutions. How can we find solutions that works for everybody? And I remember even getting into that was a problem because it was like, I don't think mathematics is a place for you because, social work and all that stuff, it just doesn't link. And I was like, I'll prove to you that it links. By the end of my course, you will see that there is a link between it. And, from there, I went on to do research for organizations and NGOs, and it's more social research, but using mathematical tools, especially statistics, to find solutions to problems, really, to social problems, and trying to find ways of dealing with things like world hunger, HIV and AIDS and stuff like that, equality and all of that. So I've been doing that, pretty much straight out of uni, really, and I've still been doing that. But in the last 2 years, I think it was in, if we backtrack, in 2007, 2008, I did my research in Jamaica about corrective rape of women in Jamaica because it was my first time bumping into it. I was doing something around HIV and AIDS in the lesbian women community, and I found out that women were raped because they were not heterosexuals, simply for that fact, because society didn't feel that they should be heterosexuals, they should be lesbians, and they were raped for that. And I was just baffled by it, and I will not lie to you, Dini, that blew my mind. Like, that blew my mind, because I knew about rape. I mean, when I was in school, I was dealing with girls who, were dealing with incest in their families. They were, victims of that kind of stuff. So I knew about those things. I knew about rape. As a child growing up in Jamaica, that's like something that it happens. It happens in your communities, it happens in your families and stuff like that. So the want to explore it, that was naturally there, because I've always felt that rape is just something that I couldn't understand. Oppression I can't understand at all. I still can't understand it, and I don't think I'll leave this life understanding it. But for me, in the last few years, I've decided, you know what? I remember wanting to write that book about corrective rape, and I wanted to spread the word about it and, get women rights activists to go get behind lesbian and bisexual women and what they were going through in society. But I mean, I'm a very emotional person in all of this. I'm a very soft person, and that knowing all of that, learning of the stories, I remember collecting the stories, and it just bogged me down for years upon years upon years. And it wasn't until in 2017 that I published that book, Corrective-Rape-in-Jamaica, and with those stories of women who were raped because they were victims of because they were lesbian and bisexual women. And from there, what I wanted and what I've always wanted was for people to realize that we are all human beings. It doesn't matter if you're not Muslim, it doesn't matter if you're not Christian. At the end of the day, walking down the street, you see a person passing you by, and that is just a human being. You know nothing about the person. That is just another person like you, and that person knows nothing about you. So if you take all of our differences away, you can treat people equally. But the moment you start building on these things onto other human beings about how different they are, then it gets to a point where, you don't like the person because of this, you don't like the person because of that, they shouldn't sit in the same room because of this and that. You know what I mean? So for me, at the place where I'm at now, I want it to be conversations being had, showing the differences, showing people's pain, and learning that we can sympathize with those people, even if we're not going through those things, even if we've never gone through those things. And that's why I write. That's why I'm from research to writing. I collect the stories, I learn about what's happening on the ground, and I feed it to the public, because I want other people to know what is going on, to have conversations about it and say, I feel your pain, I know what you're going through, and I want to do something about it.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. That's incredible, and that's passion. There's definitely some passion there. Okay. So you're a part of the so you're part of the LGBTQ community, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was working on this pickup line, and I guess I have to trash that now, so no worries.
We can still try. We can test it out. I can give you feedback.
On with the show. But no, that is incredible. You are definitely incredible. To hear a problem, see a problem, and address the problem. Not many people are that brave. So I definitely commend you for that.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be Kemone without that, though. It comes naturally, thankfully.
So let's talk about your latest book, Too Normal, Child Abuse in Jamaica.
Yeah, well, that's another headache, Dini.
Really? So
yeah.
Let's go into details about that.
Well, I don't know if you follow, but the X Factor came on, the X Factor UK the other day, and the Jamaican one, Dalton Harris.
Yeah.
Do you follow that up?
I said it again?
Dalton Harris won the X Factor UK the other day. He's a Jamaican lad.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's kind of what sparked it. It is and it isn't, but it really is, because it was only after seeing that I decided, you know what, I am going to collect the stories and I am going to write a book and we are going to have the conversation. But in Jamaican society, it is so normal, and that's why I say it's too normal, and I feel myself getting a bit emotional about this, but, you know, for a mother to take up something and just hit their child with it, it's like, you know, we laugh about it as kids. It's like, you know, don't do that, otherwise your mum is going to do this or your mum is going to do that to you. And it becomes so normal to us that violence against children, it's just like discipline. It's your mother putting you in order or, you know, disciplining you. But my question is it really discipline? The stories in the book, it's about women, they're now women and men, who have gone through what I deem child abuse, and I know a lot of other people will deem it as child abuse, but so many Jamaicans see it as, you know, get over it, your mom or dad was just disciplining you. You know, kids get beaten with machete, kids get beaten with hose pipes, with electrical wires, with all these things, with a wood. I know in America you use them wood to make the houses and stuff. A child can be just knocked to the ground with that in the minute of seconds for doing something that their parents deem naughty, you know, and that's just seen as normal. And for me, I grew up in that society. My friends grew up in that society. There are children growing up in that society now where my parents grew up in that society, you know what I mean? So it's like, we don't see it as anything. And I know even as black people around the world, or form of disciplining is so different when you look at how the wide acceptance of violence is towards children. I mean, like, we often say, it's just how black mothers do things, it's just how black mothers do this and do that. And while some things, I do believe in discipline, but where do we stop? You know, where do we decide that it's enough? If you look on the cover of the book, I don't want to be disrespectful to your show, but there are all these nasty words. Like, I don't know if there's this term, John Crow. This is like a bird. It's like a vulture. You know, it's like a bird that eats dead animals. You know, whenever you see them hovering around, you know that there's dead body somewhere and they're feeding off that. And that's one of the very common names that Jamaican mothers call their children. Yeah? And it's so widely accepted. You know, children are called bitch, dogs, all kinds of things, and that's their form of disciplining. And I don't think that there was this conversation being had online, because when Dalton Harris came out about his child abuse, you know, while he was growing up, there was a lot of backlash from my country, like so much that it was embarrassing. It was embarrassing to see that adults, I mean, when you're a child, you don't really know better, but you expect that you grow up and you learn, especially, I mean, the world is open. The world is open now. We know different. We're no longer living in vacuums where we don't really know better or anything like that. We know different. We know other means of problem solving. You know what I mean? But to see that it's still so widely accepted and people are like, get over it. You know, your mother was just trying to keep you in order. I'm sure you were a devil child. I'm sure you were rude. I'm sure you were this. I'm sure you were that. You deserved the beating and stuff like that. It's fine to spank a child, but what is the difference between spanking with your hand and taking? Some people even use knives to stab their children. You know, when you read this book, you'll realize the extent to which it is. And I've tried to tone it down so much, like so much. I was embarrassed to write the book in the sense that this is my reality. You know what I mean? This is my country. These are my people that we're talking about. So Too Normal, it's just a collection of short stories. It's short stories about child abuse in Jamaica. It's about how mothers treat their children, how children are treated, and how normalized it is. And it's too normal because it's time for it to stop. It's time for us to have that conversation and to say, why do we accept this? Why do we think that this is okay? Why do you think it's okay to pick a brick up and knock your child down? You know what I mean? Why do you think that is okay? Why do you think your child should be in bed? There's one instance where the child is I think what was happening is that she fell pregnant. The little girl fell pregnant, and her mom came in and stepped in her belly over and over and over again until she was bleeding out on the bed. And that is something that we would look at and be like, you know, that child deserved that, because that child should not have gotten pregnant. You know what I mean? But there are other ways to do it. There are ways to do it that's disciplinary, but not violent and not abusive. And these children, when you talk to these adults and you interview them, and then you see them go back to these places where it's like, you know, it's happening to them then and there, and to see that 40 years on, 50 years on, they've not gotten past it, then that's a sign to me that it is damaging. It has caused damage. And how do we repair those damages? You know what I mean? Some we might not be able to repair, but we can stop it from happening to other children. We can stop the Jamaican society just being broken down by all this abuse. So yeah, that's what Too Normal is. It's child abuse in Jamaica. The tragic stories of men and women who, you see them go about their business, you see them try to be doctors, try to be lawyers, but when the doors close and they're by themselves, the memories are still there. When their family members call, when their mothers call, it's hard to have the relationship they want to have with them, because they have these memories to hold on to, where they didn't feel protected, they didn't feel loved, they didn't feel like they were parented, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Why do you think it's so hard for Black people to discuss problems, like maybe past trauma, whether it's, I don't really think that we actually seek counseling or even, you know, talking about issues like that. Why do you think that is?
You know what, Dini? Before I went in, my first set of study was psychology, because I wanted to understand my people. I wanted to understand how human beings are, how human beings operate, and how they function. And I think one of the things that we underestimate is what we've been through as a people. We've been through a lot of hardship, and it's almost as we know how to survive. We know that we have to survive. No matter how bad it is at home, we have got to survive. We have got to put our best foot forward. No matter how bad things are, we just keep moving. And our parents learned that, our foreparents learned that, and that just keeps being passed on to us. And it's not something that they necessarily want to do, but it's something that I feel that, because even I'm guilty of that. It's almost as though it's what we know, but then how do we change what we know? You know, there were times when your parents were there and you know that, okay, you didn't have food for tonight, but your mom figured it out, your dad figured it out. So when we grow up and things get hard, we remember that, well, mommy and daddy figured it out, so we've got to figure it out, yeah? And they figured it out on their own. They didn't confess to us that times are hard, we're going to be losing the house, we're going to be losing this or anything. They figured it out, and they did it on their own. So the pattern that we've seen growing up, it follows us, where we suffer in silence because we've seen it happen before, and we think, well, my mom is alive, my dad is alive, you know, they're still okay, so I'm going to be okay. And then our children then learn from us that this is what you do. You just put on a smile on your face and you get on with it. You just do what you've got to do. We don't accept, I mean, even in Jamaica, disability is not a thing that is like widely accepted. Learning disability, physical disability, it's not something that we really pay attention to. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing with Black people in general. You know what I mean? We don't stop because we feel that by stopping, it makes us seem weak. We feel that by stopping it's saying that I can't do it, and how dare I say that I can't do it, because I can do anything. I was taught that I can do anything, so I've got to do it. I've got to figure it out. You know what I mean? Or black men commit suicide so much because they're stuck figuring it out, You know what I mean? They don't know to pick up the phone and call their parents and say, Mom, Dad, I am struggling. I am really struggling to take care of my family, and I am going to need your help. Because by doing that, they're seen as weak. They're seen as a failure. So we don't have those conversations. So it's almost a need to reparent our children, to reparent the future generation that's to come, and say, it is okay to break down and cry. It is okay to ask for help. It is okay to say to somebody that, today I'm not doing well, and I don't want you to tell me to pull my socks up to be strong. I want you to allow me to not be well. You know what I mean? We're not there yet, and we need to be there as a people. We need to say to our brother and our sister next to us, I see, and I've always said this, for me, I know I'm almost always on my own because I've been away from my family for so many years, and I will sometimes feel lonely, but I'll never pick up the phone and call and say, I'm lonely, I'm sad, I want you to be there, because I've flown the nest. So what I've got to do is I've got to be strong, and I've got to get it done. You see white people on the train, they cry, they don't care who is watching, they cry and they let it out, yeah, because they were taught to let it out. But if we see a black man on the train crying, if we see a black girl on the train crying, it's like, why is she embarrassing herself? Why is she doing that? Why is he doing that? You know what I mean?
Right.
Instead of walking over and say, are you okay? How can I help? It might be a simple thing as a hug. It might be a simple thing of saying, it's going to be okay. Let's pray. What do you want us to do? How can I help? But there needs to be compassion. There needs to be compassion, and compassion in saying that we're not always strong, and you don't have to always be strong. Break if you have to, and pull yourself back together when you're done.
Yes. Yes, totally agree. Wow. So, what do you hope to change, or where you hope to make an impact with To Normal?
I want to change the way children are growing up. I want to change the way that my age group are going to be parenting. I want to change the level of acceptance of violence in the Jamaican society against children, against everybody, but against children. I want people to realize that these children are the future. Don't just say it. Say it and mean it. These children are the future generation. And if you're putting damaged goods into the world, then the world is going to be damaged. There is going to be no change. There is going to be no difference. I mean, people, when you look on social media and you see the fights breaking out amongst kids in high school uniforms and stuff like that, and people are like, this generation now, look at them, this is how they behave. But you've created this generation. This generation didn't create itself. So you did something wrong. So help us figure it out and fix that generation so that the generation after can be better behaving. I don't know if that's the way to put it. But what I want to happen is for us to take a look. It's okay to be ashamed. It's okay to be ashamed. I'm learning that. In my 30-odd years, I'm still learning that it's okay to be ashamed. It's okay to say, this happened to me, or I did this, and I accept that I did it. I accept that it happened to me, and I want to fix it. I want to change so I don't inflict the same pain on my children or my children's children. Because if you create a bad child, and that child has a child, your child is going to be bad to that child. So it's just generation and generation and generation of, just broken people. So what I want is for people to pick it up. Pick up the book, have a read, sit with yourself. You don't have to have a discussion with anybody. Sit with yourself and say, what can I do to make a difference? What can I do to make a change? If I see a parent beating a child, I want to find out what is so wrong with that parent. What damage has been done to you that you're causing such damage to your own child? And how can we fix it so that you don't keep damaging this child? How do we fix it so that you're going to be okay and your child is going to be okay? How do we stop it? You know what I mean? So I really just want, stop saying it's discipline. Stop saying it's acceptable. It's not acceptable to take up a glass mug and smash it in your child's head. It's not acceptable to punch your child down. I mean, there's one story with a baby being beaten for not cleaning herself properly. I mean, seriously. Why? This is a baby. This is a baby. For me, anything under 5, 6 years old, that's a baby. That's something you're molding. That's something you're supposed to be taking care of. You know what I mean? And you want them to have good experiences. So I don't want us to keep making excuses anymore. I don't want us to keep saying to our brother and sister who are crying out and saying, you know, my mother abused me. My mother did this to me. My father did this to me. Some people just want an apology. Some people just want you to accept that you did wrong, wrong to them, and that you need to accept it and let us move on. Let us find a way to have a relationship.
Definitely. Yes. Okay. So, with all this attention to issues and even offering solutions, as for yourself as a brand, because you are a brand, what is the importance of your online presence?
Well, the importance, you know what, this has taken me a long time to get. I was saying to a friend once that there was this time when I had this Twitter account. Mm-hmm. I met this Jordanian fellow. This was when Twitter had just come out. It was years and years ago. And I met this Jordanian fellow, and he took my phone and was like, Kemone, you have to be on Twitter. You have to be on Twitter. And I'm like, what is this Twitter? You know? And he installed this Twitter on my phone. And all of a sudden, there was these pop-ups on my phone, these pop-ups coming up. 2,000 people following you, 3,000 people following you. And I thought, what do you mean people are following me? And I deactivated the account. I shut it down immediately. And I didn't understand what it meant. I did not understand this Twitter thing. I still don't understand it. But for me, I've realized the importance of being online, the importance of having those conversations, because in a lot of ways, I'm a bit of a loner. I want to be in the books. I want to be learning things. I like talking to people, but I don't do that as often as I should, because I always want to be learning something new, and I use a lot of my time for work. So for me, being online, what that has helped me to do is to, you know, create the kind of presence that I want, in the sense that I want to be having conversations with people. There are people who reach out to me. There are people who give me ideas of books to write. So for me, it's about, you know, helping me achieve what I want to achieve, and that's to create change in society. That's to, you know, change minds and hearts, to tell the stories, engage with people about the stories that I'm telling, and I don't know, to just because that's where people are, isn't it? That is where people are. Everybody's got a smartphone now, and that's how you reach them. So it's about meeting people where they're at, really.
Right,
Yeah.
So who are your fan base?
Oh, I don't know.
What kind of people?
I don't know. The thing is, Dini, as you said, I do so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've got a YouTube channel as well. Sometimes I still sit and think, why did I start a YouTube channel? But to be honest, it was for my charity, really. But I've got a YouTube channel, so I've got people who follow me for makeup and traveling. I love to traveling and stuff like that. I've got people who follow me because they're into my books and stuff like that, and I've got people who follow me because they're into mathematics. So there's a lot of different followings that I've got, and I've tried breaking things up a bit, because I've got something separate from my YouTube account, and I've got something different. I've recently created a website because I wanted to create a presence for everything. I'm trying to do that, but I do a lot. I'm a serial entrepreneur. So it's like, how do I rope it all in? And I'm still trying to find my footing with that, but I do have people who follow me for different reasons. Some people just want friendship. I've got a lot of friends who are activists who I've never met in other places in the world, who sometimes come to me for advice about, you know, different things. Lately, I've had people following me because they want to know, how do they turn what they're doing into books? How do they, you know, they're working with people on the ground, they're doing a lot of work, they're talking about different issues in their own context that they're passionate about. How do they get the stories out there? So it just happens, really. I try to post everything and anything, and then the followers who are interested will like something, or they'll follow back, or they'll send a DM. It's a DM, isn't it? They'll send a DM, or I've got also what do you call this? a mailing list that people do contact me on. So it really is for different reasons that people get in touch, really.
Okay. So like a broad spectrum of people who are involved in almost any and everything that you're also involved in.
Yeah. That's what it really is, to be honest.
Okay. So I know I opened up the show with you and talked a little bit about 2019. What else is in the immediate future for Kemone S-G Brown?
Well, in the immediate future, I am writing.
Yeah.
I am focusing on, well, this is not so... Well, all my topics are a bit hectic, aren't they? So my next book is hopefully, well, I've got two, but I think the one that I want to put out next is going to be about the sexualization of girls in Jamaica, because it's so widely accepted for young girls below the age of 13, 14 to be having sex and stuff like that. So we're having the conversations about that and seeing, you know, what's the cause of that, really. So I am looking to publish about 2 more books for the rest of the year. I am also we are also working on a project. Jamaica, you know, gained its independence in 1962, and what I want to do is to celebrate Jamaica. So I'm working with a team to do an anthology, some poems, pull that together, and do a book about that. And what else am I doing for 2019? Traveling, of course. I love traveling. If anybody wants to take me anywhere, they can just give me a call. I'm on Instagram, on Facebook. Anybody can take me anywhere, as long as you're going to lock me up somewhere.
So
but I am going to be traveling.
so I get the pickup line out of my trash can now?
Yeah, you can do. Yeah, so I'll be doing some traveling. I think towards the end of the year, I'm looking to go back into studying. I want to get a master's in statistics, and I think towards the end of the year, I'll apply for that. Yeah, and what else am I looking to do? This year, to be honest, Dini, I'm a serial entrepreneur. I'll be making a lot of money because I've got so many financial plans that I want to, you know, get up and running this year.
Right.
Yeah. So that's it, just working my bum off and being an activist, being a researcher, doing some public speaking here and there, stuff like that, really.
Yeah.
And I want to grow my YouTube. It's like such a challenge doing that. I want to do that, though.
Yeah.
That's where the goofier side of me comes out.
Yeah.
The not so serious, yeah.
Do you want to do it for like a career choice, like for money? Because the reason why I ask this is because YouTube has changed their rules, and people are finding other ways now to connect with an audience.
Okay, so I started YouTube, we're in 2019 now, so I started in 2017. In 2017, I started my charity in Jamaica, Education is Key to Success, and I fund that project myself. You know, salaries come out of my money, so out of my savings. The money to do the work on the ground comes out of my savings. And I was just thinking about it because I make sure that I have loads of income streams, and I wanted there to be something else that I could get money from to put towards this charity. And I just sat one day and I thought, why not do some YouTube videos, and then that money could go towards it. So I started a YouTube channel. Didn't know what I was going to be putting on it. I've been putting some videos on it, and it's been growing. It's been growing, not as rapidly because I took a huge break towards the end of 2017. Towards the end now. Early 2018, I took a huge break and I got back into it late last year. But for me, it wasn't income necessarily for myself, because I'm not going to give up everything to be on YouTube, and I'm not going to be like posting videos like every day of the week, if that makes any sense. I post twice per week, Wednesdays and Saturdays, and I just thought it's another way to get some money for my charity, really. That was it. But in terms of looking into other ways of making money, I'm always up to making money, so I'm happily looking to other ways, to be honest.
Definitely. Okay. All right, so this is your third book, right?
No, this is my second one. I've written loads and loads, but more on the academic side of things, more as a professional researcher, and that's been for companies and organizations, NGOs and stuff. So it's published through them, or they own the material and they just put it out and stuff like that. But in terms of for myself, this is the second book that I've put out for myself, yeah.
Okay. So the experience from the first book, what did it...
Pardon?
Yeah, I said the experience from the first book, after you wrote it and published it, what did it teach you that you were able to take with you into the second book?
You know what it taught me, Dini? The biggest lesson of all is that it is possible. It is possible. Being a human rights activist, you end up in a lot of meetings with government, people from government, people from different organizations, people who are making decisions and stuff like that. And that is all good and well. That is all good and well for me, because I think that is work that is needed. But in terms of, what I wanted to achieve when I started out as a human rights activist, I was only a teenager. It was for me about changing people's minds and hearts, getting them to see the bigger picture. And I was constantly told, I mean, as a young activist, you're told by the older folks that it is not possible. Let's focus on changing the law. Let's focus on this. Let's focus on that. And I've always said to myself, you need to have the conversations at grassroots level. When I did corrective rape in Jamaica, yeah, it was a sense of, what do I want to achieve with this book? And after writing, I wrote the book, I had a publisher, I wrote the book with them, and for me, when the finished product came, it was it wasn't something that I wanted, because again, I was preaching to possibly people who, understood that these issues were were present in our society, who understood that this is something that happens. And it was sounding a bit too academic for me. It wasn't like talking to a man on the street. It wasn't saying to a man on the street that, listen, if my daughter is raped for being a lesbian, I get hurt by it. It's a struggle for me. If I am raped for being a lesbian, my father would die. My father would possibly commit suicide if he couldn't solve it. You know what I mean? I wanted to touch people's hearts. I wanted to change their minds, to say, you don't have to accept it. But by preaching out against it constantly, by saying negative things about it, by saying that these people should be killed, you are saying to a murderer, it is okay to go and kill this person. You know what I mean? So it needs to stop. You've got to change your language. If you don't accept it, it is fine, but don't promote hate. And for me, that book, I've sold thousands of copies, which I didn't expect at all. I really didn't expect it, because I just wanted it to reach one person when I did that book. I just wanted it to reach one person. If it changed one heart, one mind, it would have been enough for me. But to see people engage with it and then send messages, or their friends send messages and say, this is what this person had to say about this book, this is what this person had to say about it. To see non-LGBT people, heterosexual people in Jamaica picking up that book and reading it and saying, I had no idea that this is what lesbians went through, and this is horrible. We need to change this. That for me is more than I could ask for. It is more than I could ask for. So going into this, when I took up the battle of writing this book, I will not kid you, it took me like a month to write this book, because it was like, I have to do it. I have to do it because I have to have my say, and I have to get people to see a different view. You know what I mean? So when I went to Too Normal, it was like, if I change one mind, one heart, then I've made a difference. So I went into it thinking, I am going to make a difference. It is possible to make a difference, because I did it on an issue that people weren't ready to have the conversation about, but they had the conversations anyway. So this issue is about our children. It's about our future. Why would they resist? Why would they not pick it up? Why would they not say, I need to look at things differently. I need to make a difference. So that was it going into this book for me. And it will be what I think the reception that I got from when rape becomes acceptable is going to be something that I don't know, it's going to be with me for the rest of my life, to be honest. It is going to be with me for the rest of my life. And whenever I pick up a topic, I will remember that the biggest issue in Jamaica, LGBT issues, that was accepted. People had the conversation. When I went to do talks and stuff in Jamaica, people had the conversation. People were willing to listen. You've broken the barrier with such a big issue. You can have the other conversations. The conversations that really matter to them.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, how secure, or how do you go by protecting your dreams from going away?
Wow. You know what? And I've learned this the hard way. I've always been a fighter. I've always been go, 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 go. My dad told me at a very young age that education is going to be your way out. And he drilled that into me. He always told me that you are smart and you are going to get where you want to be by being smart. You've just got to hold on to that. And I held on to it for very, very long. And about 2015 to early 2017, I think I kind of lost myself. I lost my faith. I lost everything to do with, self-growth and self-development. And what pulled me back was the belief that I had in myself. So I think that little thing inside you, that little drive, no matter how tiny it is, it could be smaller than an ant, no matter how small it is, smaller than a grain of salt, if you still have that, no matter how deep you go, the security is still going to be there, because you dream from that little grain of salt, and it's going to come pushing out. It is going to come pushing out, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And the more you achieve your dreams, the more you achieve your goals, the more you dream, the more you want. I mean, you buy a car. You've always wanted to buy a car, and then you achieve it, and you think, wow, I did that all on my own. What else can I do? And you just keep doing. So for me, it's believing in that little thing that's inside you, believing that little thing that's inside you, no matter how crushed it is, allow it to push through, and pat yourself on the back for the small achievements. Pat yourself on the back for the small achievements that you have. You know what I mean? And then that'll just keep pushing you. Mm-hmm. And that's how you protect your dreams, really.
Nice. All right. So, Kemone, we are at usually everyone's favorite part of the episode. I mean, the show.
Yeah.
It's called Hot Seat. That's where I make you sweat more than normal. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I try to make it all super comfortable and cozy for you, but this part shows no mercy. I mean,
Lord.
I won't laugh at you. But,
just don't ask me to sing. I'm not a good singer. The world knows that.
Well, the world don't know that. I didn't know that.
They do. They do.
You look like you can sing.
Okay.
Yeah.
No. Not at all.
And then you have like an incredible accent, so nobody wouldn't be able to tell anyway if you couldn't sing. That's a native song. That's really cool. Wow.
Yeah. The next big thing.
Right. Yeah.
Imagine that.
Yeah. Look out, Damian Marley.
Look out.
But what about some poetry or a spoken word, maybe freestyle rap, jokes, stories?
Ooh. Okay.
Options.
Ooh. Options I'm like rubbish at. Spoken word. Wow. I don't know. I've not written poetry in years.
Yeah, I'll let you think about it. We're going to cut to some music so we can catch our breath. Swipe left or swipe right on the dating app.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
We'll be right. We have Mischief Night with their song Dark Time.
In here I just thought we were lost. I thought we were rotting in there for toss. But we're these are dark times for me and those loved ones of mine, floating on the flowing brine out here. We're just two crazy kids and we're trying not to get stuck with the right amount of work and the right amount of love. These are dark times for me and those loved ones of mine. Now someone would say we're permitted to shine. As word from the golden aces and we're fine.
All right, guys. That was Mischief Night with their song Dark Times. So if you want to support them, the link will be in the show notes. So all you will have to do is click the link and it'll take you right to it. You is brought to you by Versace. They have a brand of cologne for men called Man, ironically. And Man smells incredible. Wait, I think this is a pause moment. Anyway, Man smells incredible. I don't know about any other man, but this man smells incredible. So I put on the cologne today, and now, wait, I didn't leave the house today, but trust me, take my word for it, it smells incredible. Last night, I went to an event, and I wore Versace Man, and I turned heads. Oh, yeah. The response was incredible. I got so many compliments from the ladies and the gentlemen. They all want to know what was Dini wearing. And I told them, Versace's Man, you have to check it out. And hopefully it got a lot of sales. So no, I do not have any promo codes. It is very expensive, at least for me and my taste of cologne. I'm good with the old $15 bottle. But if you like stuff that's $89 and $90, go ahead. But yeah, right now there's a 20% off code. Check the website for that. It'll make a great gift. Again, Versace Man. Incredible smell. So life improves greatly when you stop letting things happen and start making things happen. Be a doer. Instead of looking for someone to blame, look for what you can do. Instead of asking, why did this happen to me? Ask, what is it that I can do? So I posted on Facebook and Instagram. Yeah. on New Year's Eve. No, I didn't. I was late like 4 days. Jeez, come on. See, I get lost with time. But yeah, so I was 4 days late. I said, you know, we experience problems because problems are here to teach us something. And if we're still experiencing problems in our lives, then we haven't learned that lesson. Right? Yeah. As a kid, your mom says, hey, don't touch the stove. It's hot. Well, we touch it anyway because curiosity and just, I won't say being dumb, but yeah. So we learned a lesson that the stove was hot and we don't touch it anymore unless we're cooking and grease pops on your arm. But the sentiment is that, you know, you do not place your hand on the stove and say, I wonder, is this hot? Because you already learned that lesson. You already crossed that problem. It's not an issue anymore. Hey, thank you for the lesson. Hands hot, hands burnt. Lesson learned. No more touching the stove. Got it, Mom. Thanks. Yeah, so that's how you gotta view problems. If it's financial problems, maybe look at where the money is going. I don't have anything against, you know, smokers, cigarette smokers, but if you add those cartons, how much you're spending on those cartons, you'll have a pretty good amount that you can put in savings for, you know, things you like to buy, or for a rainy day, or for a home, or a car, or whatever it is that you need. But cigarettes is sucking up your money. So there's little things you can look at, like habits that are like easy to solve. And, you know, problems don't have to be big. That's what makes life, is, you know, the molehills, the milestones, the mountains. We have to beat down into pebbles to get our point across, to make our stance that conquerors. Okay? So set your own agenda by focusing steadfastly on your goals. No circumstance can overwhelm you. You live by intention. The things that happen are of minor importance compared to what you make them. Your strong direction, your sharp focus, your commitment, and effective action will push you forward towards anything, no matter what happens. Be responsible in your thoughts, in your words, your beliefs, your actions, for things that happen, and they'll be much more to your liking. Make life happen, and life will happen for you. Trust me. Take that from me, Dini-Mussolini. That is my word, and word is bond. But for right now, let's bring back the woman of the moment, Kemone S-G Brown. You're back live with us and in our hot seat. So, what are you going to perform for us? Yeah.
You know, we've been re-looking. You know those nights, Dini? I'm sure you have them too. When you're laying in bed, you can't sleep, and then thoughts fly through your brain, and you want to write them down. That happens to me when I write things down in the form of poetry. And I've been lucky. I found something that I wrote on the 17th of the 10th. So I'm going to be sharing a poem.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Tell me when to go ahead.
It's all you.
So it's titled Woman. She fights the good fight, sometimes on the daily. Right or wrong, I'm not quite sure. I might simply be on the fence. This is because I've seen all her sides. I've reveled in her love. I have felt her wrath. She's often made out to be frail, ever-loving, forgiving, and primarily kind. She's made out the protectee, never the villain. It's important, though, that you know all her sides. She is wicked. She abuses, sometimes kills her own children. She sends men to war and hates women who do not fear her. Her hatred is like no other. You do not want to cross her. On days she is the loving protector, she'd give the clothes off her back, the last piece of bread from her plate. She lives for her children. She's courageous but gentle. The lioness in her, only rearing its head to protect those she loves. She's Mother Earth, has a home remedy for any illnesses. She's cruel too. She'll have as many children she feels, they'll meet her needs. One to mother the others, another to be sold to men to fund her habits, one to keep her place tidy, another to feed her ego. And when they step out of line, she'll be ready to tear them apart. She's strong. She takes no one's bullshit. She'll go to war for her country. She's not afraid to be unpopular because her beliefs mean more to her. She's not lacking integrity. Regardless of their failures, she believes in humanity. She's the fighter who breaks through the fire, the engineer of building our roads. She comes in different forms. We'd never be able to surmise her. She's woman, multifaceted, diverse, should not be overgeneralized. And who she is as a whole must never be undermined. Woman. That's it.
Wow. That's incredible. Yeah.
Thank you.
So, you think of ideas and poetry when you can't sleep, and I just, think of 1,000 ideas, and I typically have to-do lists for my to-do list. It's crazy, but...
Yeah, and you write them down in the middle of the night, isn't it? So I keep my phone close by on mute because I don't want anyone calling me awake when I finally sleep. But then I have my personal phone and my work phone. So if I feel like writing something, it might be a book idea, it might be, just writing down thoughts, diarizing and stuff. So I send a text message from one phone to the other. And poetry sometimes, on that list.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how many of those do you have, roughly?
Oh, wow. So on this one, I can see 3. I've also got one about Black Like Me. And I've got... Oh, it's a long list, isn't it? This is a diary entry. Yeah, it's quite a bit. I just keep scrolling. And there's it depends on which phone I grab onto. Then one is sending the message to the other.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've got another one. Oh, wow. I've got one here. It's explicit though. And then I've got another one, Black Like Me after that. Yeah.
How explicit?
I only saw the P word in it so far, but I just...
P word?
Yeah, I think on this night it was a bit the P word?
Yeah.
It ends with a Y, Dini.
I'm a church guy. I don't know what you're talking about.
I also don't know that. And I don't want to corrupt your little church brain. I shall not corrupt you on this Sunday afternoon at that.
Right. It is a Sunday. What are you talking about? P and N's or what? I have no clue what that is.
I shall not.
Corrupting the innocent, as I shall maintain. Yep. But no, we actually allow explicits on this show. There's no holds bar. I have the whole idea about if kids do listen, then more attention to what their kids are listening to.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's true, isn't it?
That's just how I believe, yeah.
Mm.
And if you were like me and your parents say, don't watch or listen to that, I did it anyway.
It's being a child, isn't it?
Yep.
It's being a kid, and it's okay. You want to know why they said don't do it.
Yep, going outside, staying outside, yep, to the streets like come on. You just got to do it. You got to learn the lesson, get the bump on your head and then say, oh, okay, now I see why you say don't do that.
Yeah.
I understand it after
That's
having
why
a
I
kid.
shouldn't do that. Yeah.
I tell them one thing, who am I kidding?
Huh?
Yeah, no, I'm just... Forget that one. I don't want to get the angry email. Dini, you're a bad parent. Maybe. No, I'm a great parent. But
I'm sure you are.
Yeah. don't believe the internet.
Okay.
But no, that's jokes. But Kemone, I want to thank you so much for being my guest, being super awesome and incredible and talented, and coming on my show.
Thank you, Dini.
You've made my Sunday.
You've been an amazing host. Thank you so much for the opportunity. You've been really, really awesome.
Okay. Well, I hope that we can travel somewhere and say hi officially.
Yeah, why not? Yeah. One day it's going to happen. I'm putting it out in the universe now. One day we're going to meet and we're going to be like, oh my God, it's you. Yeah,
Hey,
that's going to happen.
You're that
I
rock
see it
star.
now.
Hey, you're that superstar.
I see it happening now. Yeah, but you've been amazing. Thank you. And to all your listeners, thank you so much, so much for stopping in. If you haven't got the book yet, go ahead and get it. And if you want to stay in touch, then just Google my name. That should do. Kemone, Kilo, Echo, Mike, Oscar, November, Echo. Yeah. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm in a lot of places, isn't it? I still don't know how to snap, but I'll figure that out in 2019. That's one of my goals.
I have that, but I don't use it. Yeah.
I don't get it.
See, I have this thing that I do in real life called people watching. Like, I'll just go to a party or in the mall, and I'll just sit down and just watch people being idiots. So when I'm on Snapchat, that's kind of what I see is just a bunch of people being idiots. So I kind of don't use it because of that. It's a turnoff.
You prefer the live show, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It lowers my
like
vibrations and my chakras and all that third eye stuff. But
yeah.
So, try it out.
No, but it's been brilliant. Yeah, I like people watching, I really do. But I'll learn to Snapchat as well, because apparently a lot of people like this. So let's see if I can meet them halfway.
Yeah. And then they only have like 24 hours to look at it, and then it's gone. Gone from their memory.
That's why I don't get it.
Yeah, so if you goof up, don't worry about it. In 24 hours, they'll forget about it. They can't even watch it anymore. It's done.
Oh, that's also good, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
So, Kemone.
It's been brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah, enjoy your Sunday. Catch up with you soon.
It's like 40 minutes to Monday now, but thank you. You enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll catch up again. Thanks for having me, Jenny.
No problem. Thank you.
Take care. Bye.
Thank you, my Vigilantes family, as always, for checking out my podcast over here at Vigilantes Radio. All episodes are available for free download, and you can grab that from either Spreaker.com/only1mediagroup, iTunes, YouTube, any app that's on a Google Play or iTunes store, or our website. And that goes from every single episode that we've ever aired. If you'd like to request music or a particular guest or send something for me to play, email it to theradio@onlyonemediagroup.com. If it's music, please label it by artist and title. Here's my disclaimer. We are genre free, we do not judge, and we absolutely do not base our opinions on hearsay but facts alone. And actually, you can scratch all of that because all of my opinions are always right. That's the bottom line. This is my show, so deal with it. Nah, just kidding. On behalf of myself, dini-mussolini, I appreciate all you guys for tuning in, either afterwards or live with us. Spread the word, because sharing is caring. We stepped up our game just for you guys and our guests to make sure that you have the best experience here on our show. Be sure to connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, as well as Spreaker. We always follow back. That is the number one rule. Okay, well, just remember to be yourself and be absolutely great at just doing that. Avoid being too comfortable, because you're messing with your potential when you do that. Peace and have a good night.
You are now listening to Vigilantes Radio, the people's choice for quality interviews, art, music, and hot topics. Hosted by Demetrius Houdini Black Reynolds of the duo No Longer the Hero. All episodes of this podcast are available for free download at www.onlyonemediagroup.com. This is a Seventh Sign Regime Rebirth Worldwide Syndicate exclusive.
Hey guys, it's me again, Dini. I forgot to tell you all the links to her books and her social media, Instagram, YouTube, are in the show notes and description of this episode. So all you fine folks, all you have to do is click the hyperlinks. I typed it all out, neat, nice, and pretty. Yeah. Thank me later. So if you're on iTunes, YouTube, where else are we? iHeartRadio. Shout out iHeartRadio. Thanks for allowing us on your platform finally. Like, we've been at this like 5 years, and 4th year we're finally on iHeart. But who's counting? I am. Anyway, Spotify, Player FM, Castbox, Podcast Addict. Mostly all of your podcast apps and platforms, we are there. So you can carry us around in your pocket and open up the episode and click on the show notes or in the description, either or, and you'll find those links to her books, to her website, Instagram, Facebook, Goodreads, all of that incredible stuff about Kemone S-G Brown. And let me know your thoughts. I may or may not read them. Probably not, but I'll love to read them in private. And I may just send them to Kemone herself, so you guys never know. You know me, I'm sporadic and a Gemini, so blame it on the Geminis. With that, I bid you guys adieu.